Hello, I am here today to tell you about the card that probably made me fall in love with Magic the Gathering and the commander deck I built around it. So, this isn't my first commander deck, but it's my first real commander deck. I built this at the beginning of 2020 and I just went a little nuts with it. It's one of my favorite decks of all time, and it has one goal, and it's to make as many Hydra's tokens with as many counters on it as humanly possible until the math starts to hurt. The whole deck was inspired by seeing Zaxara and seeing Unbound Flourishing here. Double X, double X, double X, double X. So to go with that, we obviously have Doubling Season, Primal Vigor, those double tokens, double counters. I don't care if everybody else is doubling their stuff. I'm doubling it more. Parallel lives with legs and ward. And then I have Branching Evolution. I don't have Hardened Scales. I just realized that. But I do have Corpse Jack Menace, Winding Constrictor, and then Vorinclex, Monstrous Raider. And because we have fun in this house and everybody can take a joke, I play Morrow's Gone Nuts. It's the actual mystery booster card. Because at this point, like, what does it matter? So, those are all of my cards that get me. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. These are all of the cards that get me going and double and double and double and double. You can see I have all of the tokens here. This is often not enough tokens, but it's all of the Hydra tokens from 2 of Zaxara's precon. And then this is for a card in the deck. So, what is an X spells deck without some Hydras? Cleaning up the pile here. Give me 1 second. So, we have some of the big name Hydras here. Honestly, not a lot of Hydras. This is not a Hydra deck. This is an X spell deck. Primordial Hydra just keeps getting bigger. Hydroid Krasis, because I love Broken Simic Mythics. Hooded Hydra, because I love Tarkir. Steelbane Hydra, so I can have more removal handy. Genesis Hydra, because I've cast my entire library with it. And I play tabletop games, so who doesn't want to roll dice? And because nobody can ever have enough mana, Astral Cornucopia for ridiculous amounts of it. And when I hate myself and want to do math, we have Exponential Growth, Altered Ego, because what's better than one Zaxara? One really big Zaxara. Commander's Insight, because I intend to cast Zaxara a lot and just have a lot of mana. Same with Mind Spring. And then one day I was playing a game and I was asked, do I have a counterspell? And I was like, I don't have a counterspell in this deck. And somebody said, why don't you run one of the X counterspells? I was like, that's genius. So I'm running Syncopate. There's probably better ones, but this is what I had on hand when I made that decision. It'll counter a spell and it'll make me a big Hydra, because I intend to put so much mana into X that you are not paying it ever. Finale of Devastation. Finale of Revelation, because the finales are awesome, and I usually always cast them for at least 10. This was a new-ish pickup when the Innistrad precons came out this most recent time to just help save stuff from Blasphemous Acts and stuff like that, because sometimes they die. I love this card because it's just funny to me, and I love yelling. The crowd goes wild, so I picked up one because X, assists, support. We're friends in my game. Sometimes people will pump mana into it. And then when I've decided that the game is ending no matter what, Torment of Hailfire. And then a card that I have cast so many times, it's odd that it feels like there's more than one in the deck. It's Villainous Wealth. I've cast this where X is like 400 before, and we have a gentleman's agreement at my table that if I get X to 400, I get to exile everybody's library, and then we all just basically scoop at that point, but it is funny enough to be able to exile enough cards for everybody's library. these up here. So yeah, that's like, I don't know, I wasn't counting, but that's not a lot of cards. So, but those are my X spells. And then in order to make X as big as possible, we have some big mana. To start off, I have a Guy's Cradle that was marked at 40 bucks at the local comic shop, but the sticker was screwed up, so I got it for 4 bucks. And I actually got 2, but I gave one to my friend. So this is my Guy's Cradle. Obviously, it's from the championship decks, but that's like one of my favorite cards in all of Magic. And to go with it, Growing Rights of Itlamok. I'm so glad to see it. The reprint of this is only $3 because I love this card so much. I love having creatures. Elementalist Palette. This was like a sneak edition from the Strixhaven precons because it's from the blue-red precon, but it cares about X, 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 X. So it's in. Skyclave Relic, because if I'm doubling tokens, I'm getting more than 2 here, which is awesome. And 6 mana is nothing in this deck. Manscape Refractor, because more Guy's Cradles are great. Chromatic Lantern, because I don't want to have to care what colors I'm tapping. Cultivate, excuse me, because Cultivate's good. Map the Wastes, because that's often more than 1 counter. Growth Spiral, because Simic. Pardon me. And if I'm making all this mana, I'd like to store all this mana. And if nothing else, it's a good blocker. So these are just cards that make me mana, keep me flush so I can cast all these crazy big spells. Up next, these are more utility cards. These cards are more integral to making the deck good. Because it's funny casting a big Hydra, but like they can still be blocked by a 1/1 elf. So Combine Chrysalis, give them all flying. That's literally the only reason it's there. 2 mana to give everything flying. Simic Ascendancy, I've won maybe 2 times with this. It usually gets blown up, but I'd rather this get blown up than Doubling Season. So oftentimes this is actually just bait, so I don't get my cooler enchantments blown up. Pelucranos Unchained, because Escape is cool. It can fight stuff for mana, so why not? Grakmaw, similar situation, except it's going to keep growing, and then it's going to make a big Hydra. That's what this Hydra is here. It's Grakmaw's token. These could probably there's probably better cards for this deck, but I don't really care. Here's Gargos, Vicious Watcher. When this card came out, I lost my mind because I realized that I could just pay 0 mana and name 4 for my Hydra spells, and that rules interaction makes one of my friends so happy. So I love Gargos. Also, he's just a giant green creature who fights stuff because it's any creature. Brawn, because it's Sultai, I should be able to discard this, and getting Trample's great. Turn Timber Symbiosis, because I can play it as a land for some life on the back. So I think that's neat to have that utility there. But also, being able to get any creature among it. And my Hydras are 3 or less, and they get counters on them. It's often more than 3. So it's just a nice utility piece if I'm running out of stuff in my hand. Go digging. Garruk's Uprising, draw a card, trample, love it. Master Symmetrist does the same thing because the Hydras are 0/0s with counters. They usually always get to have trample. Fastwood Fortification probably needs to be removed from the deck, but just 1 mana, put a bunch of counters on something, because I'm never casting this for 1 counter. Or be a land. Just helps you smooth out the deck. Invigorating Surge. It has a Hydra on the picture. It says double. It's in the deck. And then more flying, just to be safe. Skatewing Spy. More trample. Trollblood Guardian. There's a 2 mana card that has this line of text that I should switch this out for. I'm going to set that for aside and do that, just to make the deck a little cooler. And because this is a pet deck, I also just have cards that I think are cool. Because, like a Progenitor Mimic. I don't know what I would copy, but a Progenitor Mimic's cool because it's going to make a lot of tokens. This could probably be cut, but that's fine. Spark Double. 2 Zaxaras mean even more Hydra tokens for my X spells. That's literally it. Majestic Meteorarch is here. Because it's here. I don't know. There's probably better stuff, but it's here. So there it goes. There's cards I want to add to the deck that I need to pick up. So why not have stuff that can be removed? So this is my utility section, I call it. This is just utility cards to help the deck run better. Next are even more utility. Like, those are fun, but this section is just strictly, I have to have a functioning deck. Wilt, I can cycle it, I can naturalize something. Why not? Broken Bond, the same as before, but it lets me sneak a land in. Mythos of Brokos. They're gonna blow my doubling seasons up. They're gonna blow all my cool stuff up. Let's just get it back. Venture's Impulse, early game plays to help smooth out the deck. Charge through. If I've somehow run out of trample things, I can give something trample if I really need to kill somebody, or just draw the card. A fight spell, that'll gain me a little bit of life. It can also remove a planeswalker. This is like one of the very few tutors in the deck. Early game, it'll give me a land. Late game, it can give me whatever I need. Eureka Moment, draw 2, put 2 on the battle, or put 1 on the battlefield. Seems fine. Sultai Charm. This is extremely useful. It's just such a useful card. I cannot live without it. And Emergent Ultimatum. This says search for Doubling Season, Primal Vigor, and the other one, and then or an Unbound Flourishing, and then I search for those 3 cards almost every time, and then everybody hates having to pick because there is no good choice between them. And that's all of the non-land cards in the deck. I have some utility lands here. Reliquary Tower, because I intend to draw cards. Path of Ancestry for that Scry. Lotus Field, because this used to have Nyxbloom Ancient, but I need it for something else. So this would tap for 9 mana instead of 3, but whatever, I still like it. Pathway. Shock lands. Fetch land I got from a boosty. Triome. Tri-land. Command Tower, tap land. Just some non-basic lands there. Nothing crazy. And my basics, I was so happy when I was able to get a full set of each of like matching basics for this deck, because it just feels so good having matching basics to me. And then because I wanted the colors of excess and stuff, I picked purple and gold. It felt like the Roman Legion, felt like excess and luxury. So, yeah, that is 98 cards because I have this Breeding Pool and Tropical Island proxies here that I want to replace. But they're here. So, there's the last 2 cards. 100 cards, hopefully more than 100 Hydras. That is my Zaxara, the Exemplary deck. And thank you for watching. Have a good one.